Have you ever wondered what makes the best apps on your phone feel so effortless, so seamless? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain on modern application development, or MAD for short. It's the strategy that really separates the digital winners from everyone else.
So what is the secret behind the apps you truly love? You know, the ones that are always fast, always reliable, and they just work. For every one of those great apps, there are dozens that just miss the mark. They're slow, they're buggy, or they feel outdated the second you download them. We're about to dive into the common pitfalls that cause this, and, way more importantly, the modern approach that avoids them completely.
All right, let's meet our first villain, weak architecture. Imagine building a massive, beautiful skyscraper on a foundation made of sand. That's exactly what happens here. The app might seem okay with a few users, but the moment it starts to grow, that foundation just cracks. It gets slow, it crashes, and ultimately it drives your users away. Next up, we have the ever-present shadow of cyber threats. In today's world, security isn't just some feature you can add on, it's an absolute necessity. A single data breach can literally erase years of customer trust overnight. That's why modern development bakes security right into the process from day one, instead of trying to tack it on at the end. And then there's the ultimate engagement killer, a bad user experience. Look, it doesn't matter how powerful the engine is under the hood. If the steering wheel is confusing and the whole thing is just frustrating to use, nobody's going to want to drive it. If an app is a pain to use, people will simply delete it. End of story. And finally, we have the classic hamster wheel of rush development. You know the drill, right? The pressure to release features faster and faster leads to cutting corners and sloppy code. This creates more bugs, which then requires more fixes, leaving way less time for actual innovation. It's this vicious cycle that burns out developers and leaves users disappointed. So, how do we break this cycle? How do we get off the hamster wheel? Well, we need a new hero to swoop in, and it arrives in the form of modern application development. And listen, this is not just another buzzword. It's a fundamental strategic shift designed to tackle all of these problems head-on. So, what is modern application development, really? At its core, you can think of it as a toolkit filled with powerful practices. It combines the flexibility of agile methods, the speed and automation of DevOps, and the incredible scalability of microservices. When you bring them all together, they create a whole new philosophy for building software that truly works. Now, this isn't chaos. It's a very carefully structured process. It all starts with a really deep analysis of what the business and the users actually need. From there, it moves through intuitive design, flexible development, and relentless automated testing. Every single one of these steps is designed to make sure the final product delivers real, measurable value. Let's get into the building blocks. The first one is huge, being cloud native. This just means designing your applications to live and breathe in the cloud from the very beginning, so you can forget about all those clunky, expensive physical servers. This approach allows your app to scale up to millions of users in a heartbeat, and then scale right back down so you only pay for what you use. It's incredibly efficient. Our second building block is microservices. Okay, think of a traditional app, like a single giant Jenga tower. If you need to change one little block at the bottom, the whole thing could come crashing down, right? Well, microservices are like building with Lego bricks instead. You can swap out a single brick or a service without affecting the rest of the structure at all. This makes updates faster, safer, and just infinitely easier to manage. And the third pillar is DevOps and automation. This basically acts like a super efficient assembly line for your code. It uses something called CI/CD pipelines to automatically test and deploy new code. What this does is remove all those manual, error-prone steps, which allows developers to release new features and fixes to users in a matter of hours, not weeks. So why does all this technical jargon matter? Well, the business payoff is huge. You get much faster innovation because your teams aren't constantly stuck fixing bugs. You get an ironclad security posture. You get significant cost savings. And most importantly, you get happier users who love your product and stick around. And the results really speak for themselves. Get this, companies that master this modern approach can achieve customer retention rates as high as 95%. The formula is actually pretty simple. When your app is reliable, fast, and a joy to use, your customers have absolutely no reason to leave. And you know, this isn't just for Silicon Valley startups, not at all. This approach is revolutionizing every major industry you can possibly think of. Let's just look at a couple of quick examples, from healthcare all the way to banking. So take healthcare. For years, the big problem was siloed patient records and just limited access to doctors. But by using a modern cloud-native approach, companies are building these incredible secure telemedicine platforms and remote monitoring tools that literally bring healthcare directly to the patient, wherever they happen to be. It's the exact same story in banking. The old threat was constant fraud and data breaches. The modern solution, a secure mobile app that uses AI to spot fraud in real time. Some are even using technologies like blockchain to create a tamper-proof record of transactions, which builds a whole new level of trust with customers.
You know, this quote really gets to the heart of it all. Modern application development isn't just about writing better code. It's about completely reimagining digital experiences so that they're ready for whatever the future holds.
All right, so let's just recap the key takeaways here. First, this modern approach directly solves the biggest challenges in app development: security, scale, and speed. Second, it's all built on those three core ideas: being cloud-native, using microservices, and automating everything with DevOps. And finally, the result is a triple win. The business innovates faster, it saves money, and it delivers an experience that customers will love.
Which brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial question. I want you to look at the technology you use and build every single day and ask yourself, is it built for the future or is it getting stuck in the past? Thanks for joining me.